young brothers and sisters, I'm extremely happy to have opportunity visit here. Of course, firstly, I would like to thank I think almost 3 generations sort of friendship. Oh, yes. One chair here. So I really not only appreciate, your sort of invitation, but also, I very much appreciate all your work. So this India, most populated democratic country, and country of all major spirituality live together. So for development of this country, education is key factor. So I think government level, federal government, state government level, I think their best. Or sometimes maybe big budget, but reach the real sort of spot may be less because of corruption. So in this, such private sort of institution, really very, very effective. India really need this kind of sort of work. So I just mentioned in the last several years, in different states, I found some sort of institutional organization really, making effort, the development, particularly in the rural area. So now I feel that these different sort of organization, different state, more coordination and sort of discuss, exchange different experiences one another, then can be more effective. I just mentioned to him. So India, as I mentioned earlier, is the most populated democratic country. I think second populated nation. First, China, most populated, 1.3 billions. India, now 1.2 billions. So unfortunately, China, not a democratic country. China is changing. So India, really, I think the example, most populated great democratic country. So now, and then I think among 3 civilization, Egyptian civilization, and Kasadi, Indus Valley civilization, and Chinese civilization, among these 3 civilizations, I think India's civilization seems, I think, last 2,000-3,000 years, I think produce most great thinkers, philosophers. I think among these 3 civilizations, I think India really made, I think, a tremendous sort of, contribution regarding the development of human intelligence. So therefore, and then, you have 1,000 years, the tradition of ahimsa. With that, you have the tradition, harmony among different religious traditions. So still working. These things, still, quite well preserved. So now, when we look past, India's greatness there. But it is not sufficient just to repeat our past. Now we must look forward. I think because of past experience, India has the potential to build further on the basis of these values, plus modern technology, modern education, combinedly, then I think India not only benefit to 1.2 billion of Indian people, but also, can be significant contribution for whole Asia and then whole world. And your neighbor, China, People's Republic of China, a great nation. Sometimes I frankly telling, Chinese people are more hardworking than Indian. Because of the, I think, heat. Sometimes you a little bit sort of more relaxed. So naturally, you have to work hard. Not in the sense of, because of the sense of sort of bad competition, but positive way, sense of competition. It's use, it is good, it is need. So, while People's Republic of China, really now, because of wake up way, last now 60 years, much developed. So India also now, should work hard. So here main thing is education. And as we discussed, the modern education alone not sufficient. 1,000-year-old, your own sort of the rich knowledge about inner world. I always telling or talking in different countries, particularly with scientists or psychologists or physicists. I always talking, the ancient Indian psychology is very, very rich, highly developed. So you should pay more attention about ancient Indian knowledge about mind and emotion. A lot of man-made problem which we are facing is actually at mental level, too much hatred, too much fear, too much anger, too much jealousy. Even family level, these emotions really create a lot of problem. So now, counterforce, these things must develop within mind, within emotion. So, such as karuna, maitreya, and altruism, these things are the counterforce. So therefore, the people in education field, not in temple, but education field, should include, the teaching about emotion. Usually I call in education, the education about hygiene of physical there. So similarly, we need hygiene of emotion. That's very important. So while our body is built, healthy body, similarly, healthy emotion, healthy mind, very necessary. The healthy body, strong body, with full of destructive emotion, then dangerous. Isn't it? So therefore, and then also the just materialistic education alone also sometimes bring more danger. So this human intelligence, very, very brilliant human intelligence, which sometimes help to destructive emotion. I think most of the, tyranny, most of tyranny. What I don't know what. And those who see people in human history, the hero or now for example Hitler and Himmler. I think particularly Himmler, I think very intelligent person. I think he planned a systematic sort of way to eliminate Jews. Like that. And many, I think, and Lenin, I think very, very brilliant person. I think very, very brilliant. Stalin, I don't know. So therefore, you see, the very sharp mind, intelligent person, guided by negative emotion, hatred, anger. I'm socialist. As far as socio-economy theory is concerned, I'm Marxist. I respect, I admire Marxism. Really, so the emphasis, equal distribution. Whereas capitalism, I think generally more individualistic sort of way. So less emphasis, the equal distribution. So I very much attracted Marxism. But Marxism, I think, spoiled by Lenin. I feel that way. At the time of a Bolshevik, besides the civil war, also some threat from outside. So the pure Marxist ideology then very much mixed with wartime mentality, suspicion, distrust, too much strict control, censorship. These are wartime sort of what's today, because of the thinking. So unfortunately, since Lenin, the whole Marxist sort of ideology, then very much sort of, mixed with circumstances during civil war, too much emphasis now, suppression. So I feel, you see, Karl Marx, Lenin, I feel spoiled the real sort of, the value or genuine value of Marxism. Then look, Chinese Revolution. Original idea is very good. If true socialist sort of thinking remain, that this gap rich to poor, impossible. Corruption, impossible. But, you see, in the socialism, I think if Chairman Mao Zedong and those leaders emphasis altruism, then today's China could be different. But socialism, Marxism, wonderful, but too much involve hatred. That automatically brings suspicion, distrust. So therefore, you see, most of these sort of, historical sort of figures, like Mahatma Gandhi, who really emphasis love, compassion, simplicity. When India became independence, he did not want to take because of position of leadership. And look, his dress almost looks like Indian, an ordinary beggar. Wonderful, wonderful. So these, I think, India sort of really sort of greatness, thoroughly modern educated, at the same time preserve 1,000-year-old India's value, tradition. So now modern India should have that kind of sort of India, that kind of thing. Right. So now you, particularly those young boys and girls, your physical are now growing week by week, isn't it? So similarly, you see, the proper sort of way to show how to lead remaining your life. Right? And you, wherever I give talk, I always say, the generation of 21st century, you are truly the generation of 21st century. So sometimes I jokingly telling people, my generation, this generation of 20th century, I think create a lot of problem on this planet, including ecology. So now, this generation of 21st century, you have to solve these problems. So think, it's a more wider way. And for that reason, the teachers, you see, should teach such a way, you see, their mind just on the technology or textbooks. Textbook, something like key, open their mind, not just copy. So here, ancient, you see some of the text about Buddhist, about logics, not only Buddhist logic, but also you see the ancient Indian logic and the psychology. This I think should include. That really help sharpen their mind, according to my own experience. After I study the Pramana Vatika, Vatika Marve, Pramana Dignak's text, as well as Dharmakirti's text. After I study, I think 1 year, more serious study, then what happened? Whenever I saw something, whenever I see something, then immediately, why, how, these two words always come in my mind. So that's very, very helpful. Then carry investigation, so analyze. That immense help to know the reality. Just copy the textbook, and then your brain remain like a computer. So our brain is a living computer. So you see, you must utilize, you see, your brain analytical, right? Analytical way of thinking is very, very important. So the teacher, concerned people, you see, not only you see, give sort of the lesson, but also try to open their sort of ability. And then they themselves carry some initiative. That is immensely important for human creativity, not negative way. So the creativity, wonderful. Then one balance, the creativity become more positive is warm-heartedness, sense of concern, of responsibility, of rest of the community. So that I want to share with you. Yes, for physical sort of growth, play very, very important. Do you like some play, isn't it? That's very important. But at the same time, when I was young, I prefer play rather than study. So I think you also equally pay more attention about study and analyze. If you give them analyze, then their interest may be developed. Just to repeat what teacher taught, then they may feel boring, isn't it? Like that. So that's important. Then at the beginning, you see, you chanting something. You see, you also, you see, those young students also, you see, knows, you see, that chanting. But then I would like to ask you, do you know the meaning? Those are the sentences they are chanting. Do you know the meaning? So you see these Sanskrit text, you see, I think the teacher, should explain the meaning. That's very important. So, Harsa. Meaning. Shingi sabe. I forgot that. So that's very important. Otherwise, you see, almost like there's a tape recorder. Many Tibetans you see, recite some sort of, or see, a text of prayer without knowing the meaning. They're not much helpful, not much helpful. They understand about the meaning. So,
Chitte vachi kriyaya.
no. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. What is the meaning?
Is, as is the mind, so are the thoughts. As are the talks, so is the action. Thus, there is in the case of the good people uniformity in mind, speech, and in action.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Now time to go. Thank you.